To Humanity Unboxed. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning.
Morning.
Valley.
It's
Good morning. My value to you
yes.
and your value to me. Yeah.
Who's
Exchange of
more
value.
valuable?
Value is something, huh?
Yeah.
Value and worth. It's a very different. It's very different because worthy. We are all worthy one by nature. 8 billion, 101 people.
hmm
We are all whatever exists is one.
Yeah.
But in systems, in our artificial reality, in our metaverse, we are all we are different. And if you're not system relevant, you have
Mm.
no value. So if you're not
According to the system, because we always have value as well, I think.
the worth is value. The worth is value, and the
Yeah.
value is defined of the one-on-oneness. So you have worth, number one.
Yeah.
But for example, and this was Stephen Hawking, right?
Yeah.
He was disabled, and so what I'm saying, regularly in system disabled are, and we have, with the neurodiversity and all the things that people say, we're against it because
Yeah.
because it's a definition. Then I have to always talk to about Stephen Hawking. He's disabled.
Yeah.
Why does nobody talk about this? Why does nobody say, oh, he was slobbering, he was doing this? Why does nobody say that? So you can get, when you're system relevant, you're all of a sudden not disabled. You're a superstar, right?
Mm.
So the system decides what you are, and it can't, because you are
Well,
what you
we
are by
allow the
nature.
system. We
Yeah, we
allow
allow.
the
Oh,
system.
we are all allowing.
Yeah.
We are
The system
allowing to
can't
be
do anything
slaves.
on its own.
We are allowing to be slaves. We are allowing to enslave, and it starts with male and female. Even, I mean, that's
Yeah.
It's, so one person wants. Oh, my husband does all the household, or my wife. She knows what to do. She's cooking. She's thinking
Yeah.
this. I don't know what it is that one has to be the servant and the slave of the other. One country is, oh, we do this and you have to do this. And then we have migration, and it's all interconnected. And I'm asking the question, why are humans always human wants the other to be the slave? And they use all manipulation, all creative control and creativity to have the other, why don't you do this, to your wife? Then she does that. Why
Yeah.
don't you do this to your husband? And it's like written up in magazines and whatever. It's like
Yeah.
the whole media, the whole system, the whole society is I think that they matter. I don't know. Do we matter so little that we have to only show our mattering that I'm in control of a human?
Okay,
Is
let's
it?
go back quickly. Let's go back
I
quickly.
just
As to,
dumped
yeah.
everything out. So
I know. And I know what you're saying because I know where you're coming from because you're talking about how we see each other as different, as man and woman, as blue and yellow, as white
yeah,
and green, whatever it is. And according to that, we say you're a good woman because you can cook well, which obviously
yeah.
I'm not a very good woman because my husband is the cook in our house and he
Yeah.
loves it. So, but first, I want us to have a look at what is value. So, I had a quick search, whatever definition, looking at definitions of value. So, according to whoever decided this, dictionary.
I can't
Value.
even understand what that means.
Yeah. So I'm going to
The
just do it slowly. So
yeah,
it is to regard that something is held to deserve. So if someone decides that I deserve importance or worth or I'm useful, then I have value according to the dictionary.
it's systemic, of course. It's the
Yes.
outside validation. It's not.
Yeah.
It's your form.
That's it.
If you have
Yeah.
the womanly form that is accepted, you're a hot chick. If you're
Yeah.
not the womanly form that is expected, you're not. And it
And
has
yet
nothing to do
we
with
all
good.
get
What do you feel good?
older.
Yeah,
So our womanly figure or
has
our
nothing to do with
usefulness,
anything, you know.
but
It's
it
like you
changes.
say people fall in love because of their shapes. Yeah, they get attention of the shape, but they're
Yeah.
falling in love with things because you can have the best shape, which there's many, many women that men know about, that the hottest chicks, and they don't even want to talk to them because it's this the soul that is important, the
Yeah.
spirit that's important, you know.
What I'm saying though is that our value is, if no, let me put it this way: if we regard our value as based on characteristics like a figure or
Yeah,
blah blah blah
form,
form, then
exactly.
we change. The form changes, but
Yeah.
we don't change necessarily. In essence, I mean, I
No,
also
we don't
struggle with
change
this
at
a little
all.
bit, but we
No.
do, because we grow, because we become more aware, or
In the physical,
become
yeah.
aware again, yeah, of our
Mhm.
connections and of all that stuff. So, um, who decides this value now? Because we have, I don't know if we gave it up or if we were just conditioned to give it up. The fact that we don't see our own value, we need that external validation that you are talking about. Where do you think that lies? Who decides our value? Who decides whether I'm
Yeah.
valuable or not?
We often obviously we are self-stoned
Mm.
because we always have it dependent on others. If the system says you're a superstar, you are. Tomorrow you're not a superstar, you're gone.
But the
I mean,
superstar doesn't make me more valuable. As we've seen, many superstars aren't as happy as they thought they were going to be when they
yeah,
became a superstar.
yeah.
So that's not real value then either.
No, it's not.
No.
Value is nothing. Worth is it. Value is the definition systemically of what is worth. But uh,
Mm.
for the system, it's system relevance. Value is system relevance. Worth is given. And nobody should be, there should, you know, by nature, there's a space and a contribution to humanity for everyone, every single person. It doesn't matter. You know, you could have had Stephen Hawking just say, hey, he's disabled. He has no value. But
Mm.
somehow he was lucky and was an example for his contribution, societal contribution. So if society really, or the system wants to really uh, be human centric, why don't you use AI and everything to find out each of the values, each of our what we contribute, or
Yeah.
even if you're dyslexic or not, or neurodiverse or not,
Mm.
and we find out now they say, oh, and they're generals right away, autistic, it's a genius, oh, you know, and they say it, but there's no job for them. They say this one, they take the one autistic child, make it a superstar, and that's instantly the gratification for system. See, we do that. We are inclusive. We are this. No, and there is shouldn't be a general inclusivity rule. We all inclusive by birth, not
Yeah.
by system. I don't need a system to say, oh, you got to include Michaell and Michelle. They are part of it. No, I don't need that.
Yeah.
I don't want to have a life, because that goes then when the big people say, oh, he's bad, he's thing, and we turn our juice off. It's not
Mm.
different what now that we are just systemically accepted or not. Then when you say, hey, this guy is speaking something I don't want to hear, I turn him off. I take his
Yeah.
money. I take his power. You know,
Or I cancel him. I don't
I can't.
reply
Yeah,
to his
and
messages.
that can be, and these are all mind things and not awareness stuff. This is all work on knowledge that is linear and binary and is reversed engineered from the system,
Yeah.
because the system always finds out, oh, human centricity, but then they make a system version of it. Like
Okay.
we know somebody who does.
Yeah. But if we turn it into a verb, if we say, I'm adding value, I am, see, the theme in the Wisdom Seekers this month is adding value, right? And we're looking at the throat chakra. So my deep dive, my conversational space, or whatever it is this
Yeah.
month, is around Often I feel that we think we need permission to express, to be outside of this system relevance, right? Because in system relevance, if you make a contribution, or if you are producing, or if you are loud, or if you have a lot to say,
Mhm.
or all of these things,
Mhm.
then you have value. But yeah,
Value has to fit. If it doesn't fit, then it's not value.
what does it have to fit?
So, for example, I'm going to go in this or that box system.
Mm.
Rugby, for example. I have no. Your son is a rugby player.
Yeah.
Stop. I am not. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
come just there and said, "Hey, we will because I feel like it, right?
Yeah.
I don't fit. I disturb the game. I disturb the audience. I don't fit.
Mm.
So I have zero value, actually negative value for the rugby team.
Yeah. Yeah, I see
See,
what you mean.
and
Yeah.
and that, yeah.
Yeah,
So
but if you're in a jazz band where you
in a jazz,
are,
exactly.
you
If I'm
know,
going to artists,
mm,
and they say, "Oh my God, this is exactly what we needed because we
mm,
needed uh, the straight and the off, and you
yeah,
will perfectly do the off." So because it's always the contrast in art. It's like the interplay of contrast. Plus and minus.
yeah, yeah,
So perfectly. But do
yeah,
you see that it's in and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong that we see it like that, but to be aware of it, and
mm,
not just slowly and slowly and slowly. When I go to this rugby team, I have to do this. I have to be
mm,
a man. I have to be this. I have to be macho. No,
yeah.
you
No,
don't.
no.
And
You have to be you,
exactly.
and you have to not have to, but it would be good if you are there to play rugby
Yeah,
and not to do ballet, because then it's not going
exactly.
to work. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
No, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just we're looking for the value, and the value is decided by the system in which we play, which is fine with rugby, but it's not fine with politics. The
yeah,
politics excludes, and politics segregates, and politicians. And I had yesterday a long conversation with a 91-year-old friend of mine.
yeah,
She was the first female mayor in Illinois, and you can imagine Illinois first female mayor, yeah? How
yeah,
that was.
yeah,
And she's one of the most human-centric, system-relevant person that I know.
yeah,
She's a master in turning human centricity into system. And she says, "Yeah, we are here to serve." So
mm,
when do you ever hear from any politician he serves? He decides, he manipulates, he controls, he
mm,
decides for others, and say, "My serving is I decide for you, Michelle, what to do, which
yeah.
underwear to wear tomorrow, and which hat to wear." It's just no, no.
Mm. Yeah, I see what you mean, and it's interesting now because now you've got me thinking about the difference between value and worth.
Yeah,
Um,
the value, the worth is given, and
yeah,
nature doesn't make a mistake. Why do if nature if it was with value,
mm,
everybody would be the same. All women would be the same. We would be all system relevant. In
yeah,
the system relevance, value works because you generalized as a woman, you generalized as black, white, green, yellow,
yeah,
and you generalized as that. As a CEO, as a janitor, you was generalized as a disabled.
mm,
So that works. The value works in that,
mm,
but that is the game of systems in the playhouse of which we always say the playhouse, right?
yeah, yeah,
In the
yeah,
playhouse,
yeah,
it works because I'm pretending to be the king. Pretending to be the CEO. I'm pretending to be the ruler,
yeah,
But in real, everybody's one-on-one. And that's why one-on-one is so important to always remember ourselves. We got 8 billion one-on-ones, and we have worth because of that one-on-one. And what nature says is you can figure out in your life what your one-on-oneness is. And you will see that no system, nothing can go here. If you know that's your one-on-oneness, And you know it because the older you get, the more you know, if you work on yourself, the more you know your one-on-one is, and life gets easier. It's not easier. You have harder challenges,
Yeah.
but you know how to deal with them. You know
Well, you
how
can
to
distance
value them,
yourself from them. Yes.
matter them.
Because,
Yeah.
yeah. And is it maybe because you value yourself already?
Also, yeah.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
say, and you say, you say, okay, I see this, but I've had 15 crises or 20 crises, and I went through every crisis. I had cancer, I had this, I had this, I had this, and I went through it. So what is this? This is just another challenge,
Mm.
and so you see that in a different perspective, which we know perspective. Every event is neutral. We give it meaning.
Yeah.
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 I could have been, in 2 months gone,
Yeah.
and I'm not,
Yeah.
because I give it meaning. I say everything that happens to me, that's my belief. Everything that happens to me has value,
Mm.
and
Because
not
you
negative.
create that value, though. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
So
yeah.
the value is inherent. It's not.
Hmm.
It's removing yourself from that external validation,
Yeah,
because that's what the system tells us. We need that external validation to be valued and
yeah,
to be valuable. So we need to
yeah,
produce. We need to da 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 da.
yeah,
But if you alchemize these challenges
yeah.
to provide meaning,
With your
yeah,
creativity, of course.
yeah,
Yeah,
then your value is inherent. It is
yeah,
already there. You are
yeah.
just awakening it in a way, or awakening your awareness of it.
Yeah. That's why you and I say there's no problem we cannot solve,
Yeah.
because we have created the problem so we can solve them.
Mm.
If we wouldn't have created, I cannot solve an earthquake,
No.
but I can solve, climate pollution. We can solve everything. A war? Are you kidding me? The war is the dumbest thing. I think it is the pivotal. Any war is the absolute creation of, you can't create. You have no creativity. Creativity is nothing. It's the
Yeah.
most
Yeah.
system relevant reset. And guess why? That we can keep creating. We have to destroy in the box. We have to constantly destroy the content to rebuild the survival in the box.
Yeah.
And we do it on the blood of, the blood of humans
Yeah.
is less worse than the water they sell. And when and this is why I'm saying, why are people always, where's the value, if you make systemically the water or the resource
Mm.
more expensive than the blood of humans that created everything,
Mm.
there is no awareness. There's complete unawareness from the leaders. And it's also unawareness from the people, because the people allow leaders, not that are you revolution, they go right away. No, it has to be a war. No. When humans say they don't want to go to war, when humans say no, yeah, there is no war. Yeah.
Yeah.
When humans
But,
say,
but
I'm not gonna pay taxes for war. I'm paying taxes. I'm not pay, I'm when I said you want to do this, and this person wants to kill this person, you're getting in chain, and you go into prison. And the
mm.
government can do it, can
But the
kill, and
government doesn't even do it. The government uses our sons and husbands to do it. So, I mean,
yeah,
we can go into this a lot, but because
there's a lot of
now
value in this.
there's to make sense of it and to feel that we are, as a people that do this stuff, that there's value in our lives. We now need to look up to war as, oh, but we are saving our country, or we are it becomes glorified.
That we
um
have devalued ourselves, because
exactly.
I don't care if the most beautiful church it gets bombed, or let's not say church, that something beautiful
Yeah.
building gets bombed, when I can save the people in it, because the people are part of me. The
Yeah.
building is not. The
Yeah.
building is a product. It's the like we always say, it's not about the product, it's about the creation.
Yeah.
The creation of that building was amazing, all for the people that created it.
Yeah.
But the result, the form, the systemic form that's valuable, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's all about the creation, and the value is in the being, in not just saying mentally this is what you should do, but actually in the creation is, that's where the world opens up for us. I mean,
But it's the same as diamonds.
yeah,
Diamonds are valuable, but how many children or people have died because other people found diamonds, for example,
yeah,
valuable? So the diamond became more valuable than people's lives,
yeah.
and that can't be
It's a
true.
rock. It's a
Yeah,
rock.
because it's scarcity, though. It is only
But it's
valuable if it's
artificial.
scarce.
It's
Yeah,
artificial.
exactly.
Yes.
Same with gold, or tanzanite, or
Yeah,
whatever
everything.
you want to come up with. The value lies in how or it becomes more valuable the more scarce it is.
Yeah, scarcity, artificial, and that's why everything becomes valuable when you make scarcity that the biggest lie in the world. But scarcity is the biggest will in the world. The Earth would never create humans if it cannot support them. It wouldn't do it. Nature wouldn't do it. You don't have 200,000 gazelles in an area where gazelles cannot even grass. Cannot.
But the gazelles, I mean, the gazelles can't be the only species in that area, because then it will
Yeah.
be out of balance. So you need your wolves or lions or whatever
No,
as
no,
well, and
absolutely.
your humans
No,
and
one
your
helps the other.
ants and your mice
Yeah,
and your
yeah,
everybody needs to be within that space. You can't just have one, because
yeah.
there's no
No,
value.
I agree. And the value is to have the balance. And there's no balance when you have wars. War is imbalance. It's never enough, no matter what, is imbalance.
Yeah.
You can't win against nature. Nature will point out you are imbalanced. And then just right now, you see all the volcanoes going up and everything. So people get, start thinking out of their dream world, where they live and believe in the scarcity. And I said today, on Twitter, I said, because it was like, yeah, we should do this and you should do this. I said, that makes only the system better. When media, it's about, the person talked about media being that we all are the media. I said, yeah, but we all are one of one. That means if I film something, I see it differently than when you see my film.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
there is no, because they always go for the truth. How can we have media with the truth? There is no media with. It doesn't matter if it's private media or it's a couple of companies. Of course, it's more distorted when somebody uses that thing to get an agenda across. But
yeah.
that's lying. And lying
But this
is
is what
always
the media is
manipulating.
doing at the moment, though. They're blatantly lying to
Absolutely, yeah.
serve
No,
yeah,
it's segregated into either that person gets money or I get money, and
or
and it's a fight
attention.
flight. It always brings it to the fight flight, and also the conflict. Even that starts with man and woman. The conflict. When you get fight flight and scarcity are the master manipulation tools to segregate humans,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
and I and
yeah,
taking all the value away because it's going on a lack. And there
yeah.
is no lack. There is no lack. Michelle, however you and I do, there is no lack. And
Yeah.
there's very rich people that are super rich and they choose to save people in certain areas in the world.
Mm.
And why don't they give them 100,000? They could give everybody 100,000 or $1,000,000. They have so
Yeah,
much money. They could give them, if you want to really save people, why don't you give them all thing and let them, you know,
yeah.
or teach them
Empower.
how
Yeah,
to make it,
yeah.
and teach them how to. Nobody can teach you anything about finances today because it works on a manipulation. It's never enough.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't have any money, you cannot play the money market. Money
Yeah,
market works, but without money, it
but you
doesn't
need
work.
money. Yeah,
You need money to
exactly.
play it. You can play Monopoly without money.
Yeah.
Monopoly is the financial market, and you cannot play that. And I think this is actually very interesting. What comes in, I think this is the stuff of segregation. Because you can be canceled in a game. Your worth can be totally eliminated. If you run out in Monopoly with money, you're out. You're lost. You're out. You cannot keep playing the game. All your friends can be in the Monopoly, but you can't.
Yeah.
And that's complete segregation, death, and cancellation. And that's what money does. Because if I give you $1 billion today, you will be a superstar. I mean, you will not feel like a you will not feel you will not feel you will not feel like a superstar.
Yeah.
But you will.
But you will. I mean, you could, because you suddenly have choice. Now I can buy an island and build, accommodation on it and make a big fire pit and have people, have
you could do your own human-centric system.
Yeah.
You could do your own human-centric system. Yeah.
Exactly. Or not system, just human-centric people. Just create a tribe, and but that comes through choice, though. So by giving me choice, giving me that freedom or the illusion of freedom, I have power. Not power. Power is horrible.
No.
Yeah, I have ability. I can do things. I can help.
Makes it easier. Money makes it easier. But why does money make it easier? Because it is the physical experience of being worthy. Yeah. So actually, it's reversed engineered, systemically reversed engineered, that you actually, there's no, so many people like Masari and all these people say there is no worth on the whole world that can exchange you against their worth. If you were aware about your one-on-oneness, there is no physical worth. You can give me all the houses, all the money, all the stuff. And if I would know my one-on-oneness, if I would really understand my one-on-oneness, you couldn't buy it. It's like you can't even buy when you have a good time with your family, right? How can you buy that? How can I? So you said you had the greatest evening today. I said, I wish every evening was that way because we had such a great thing.
Yeah.
I said, okay, so how much money do you need that you can repeat that? There is no money.
No, there is no money. I mean, money can buy the lobster or,
exactly. Yeah. But
space or get the plane ticket or the whatever to get you within that space. But it's you in the space together that is creating that.
But the thing is also, I bet you had much better stuff at home times than somewhere on an island or whatever, or on a trip. That's the thing, because it doesn't choose, when you're on this island, then you are different, and then you have an experience that you never. You can observe a sunset that you can't see at home, but you cannot have the fulfillment, the life in the moment, where you said, I don't know what happened this evening. We were laughing and laughing. We couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah.
And we were really laughing. We were not pretending. We were really laughing. And then everybody sleeps well and everything.
Yeah. Michael, thank you. So value is not decided by anybody but ourselves.
Exactly.
Yes.
No, it can't be. It can't. Other people can. That's the icing on the cake. If other people say, "Oh, that podcast is great. Let's do. Let's share it." And
But that's not the value, and the adding the value is just creating the thing. So what goes from there has got nothing to do with.
Yeah, we are 100% successful in doing what we do. That's it.
Thank you very much. We will